and whatever Greece and Serbia have managed to nab. That has Bulgaria back in control of all their territory again. They can't hold after that, well, deserve whatever happens to them. Anyways, back in Europe for an event. The assassination of Ambassador Albert Dufour-Ferrance. Our ambassador to Austria, Albert Dufour-Ferrance, was found dead in his home in Munich today. The evidence has clearly shown that he was murdered by a French anarcho-syndicalist named Gustave Boivet, or Boivet, I'm not really sure. Boivet was found boarding the fast train from Berlin to Bucharest, where he planned on crossing the Black Sea into Georgia. There is no evidence this was planned by the French, but it is an outrage just the same. So, the execution is enough to satisfy the people. We lose 60 political power, which will slow us down on getting ourselves that chief of the army I was going for. Or, it's time to stand up to these anarchists. This means war. And we declare war on the Commune of France over this. We get a bit of manpower out of it, but no. It's just not worth it. We are not ready for war just yet, I don't think. So, the execution of the assassin will have to be enough to satisfy the people, I'm afraid. And if it's not, well, suck it. You'll just have to put up with that, because it's all you're getting, I'm afraid. I'm gonna put us up to 3 speed for now, I think. Oh. Well, I wasn't expecting this, but I won't complain. The Austrian Empire has declared war on Iron Guard Romania. Well, if the Austrians want to assist us in pushing back the Romanians, as such, then I won't complain. I will certainly not complain. Even if it does result in Austria getting a bit more territory. And helping out the rebels. I'm not going to complain about that. And our battle there's sort of starting to stabilize in terms of that defense. If Austria wants to knock out the Iron Guard, and probably Serbia as well, then as far as I'm concerned, let them. Bloody let them. Also, yes, we've been forced to pull back in a few places. This is for our forces in the States, it looks like. We managed to maintain that defensive line for a very long time, but now we gotta pull back. That little bit of a bulge was probably not the most defensible position. And now we need to recover morale and everything. Got our forces here. Apparently the Russian Empire also wants to maintain the Kingdom of Spain. Nice. Nice. We are going to continue on. With our efforts to crush the Spanish communists. Though I have to admit, part of my reason is the fact that I want Spain on my side when the war with France finally comes. Just to give them another front to worry about. Though that might be a fairly stupid thing to be doing, honestly. Who really knows? Who really knows? And the American Civil War is as inconclusive as ever.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Bulgaria. Let's see, guys. No to that. But let's see if we can't give the Serbians a little something to think about. Right now, occupy a bit of their territory. Or they could decide that's the time to launch another attack on me. Honduras has joined the People's Vanguard. What the crap is the People's Vanguard when it's at home? Let's see. There it is. People's Vanguard. That's Honduras, Nicaragua, and El Salvador formed their little alliance here. Probably their alliance of, we don't want you invading us, stay the hell away. Or something to that effect, honestly, would be my guess. But I don't actually know for surezies. And surprisingly, the Ottoman Empire is actually holding it together reasonably well. Going good as ever in Spain. But Bulgaria and the American Union State are probably not going to end up in too many more battles, because I think we've overstretched ourselves a little on those fronts, so they'll just stand by and do their own thing for the most part. However, Spain, and we're done with Mobile Warfare level 1, so I'll immediately research level 2, Delay. Even when a battle cannot be won, it can be advantageous to slow the progress of attacking forces with ambushes and delaying tactics. It gives us Delay Defender ability, so minus 25% tactics movement, attacker tactics damage minus 25%, and defender tactic damage minus 15%, countered with shock. And we get 15% more organization on our motorized and mechanized units. That'll take 268 days, so we'll research that. There is another bit of land controlled by the Kingdom of Spain. I'm going to trust that the Spanish forces can hold that front. And I'm going to start trying to push north and occupy a few of the Spanish cities if I can. If we can win at least one of these civil wars before the French rather get started on attacking us, that would be very nice. And I don't know if it's actually possible to get the Kingdom of Spain into the Reichspakt, if that's something they do, but I would like to try. Defense in Bulgaria is turned around, and they keep changing their mind on if they want to attack us or not. That's bizarre and annoying. Let's see. I noticed that place there is primarily defended by militia units, so let's try and see if we can't dislodge them. I may as well do some attacks with my forces at the United State. And that would be the Romanians being annexed. So, thanks for that, Austria. You may have just saved Bulgaria's bacon. So now Bulgaria is down from having to fight a 3-front war to only a 2-front war. Wait, what was that I just said about having to fight on one front? Kingdom of Romania has just immediately joined the Belgrade Pact, which other people were fighting. Could you not? I swear, if they immediately follow that up with joining the war all over again so that we get a full-ish strength Romania as an enemy again, I am going to lose my shit. I really am. Anyways, we have a collapsing Spanish communist government here that needs our attention, so let's see to that, why don't we? And you, I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm gonna have my unit of cavalry see if they can't rush down to Barcelona and occupy that to make these guys surrender. You can attack there and help out with that. Now, wait a second. Belay that. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to pull out the majority of our army to go and dislodge the Spanish forces in Barcelona, I think. But I do have some slight good news. This Spanish Civil War is nearly over. Why don't you take the long route over to Saragossa if you can? I don't know if we'll need to take that city or not, but let's not risk it. Okay. Guatemala has declared war on Nicaragua, and on Honduras, and on El Salvador. Great. We've reactivated the Ludendorff line. But now I need to start really rushing my way down the military tree, because of these two things here. Removes Victors of the Weltkrieg and removes quenched and replaces quenched militarism with renewed militarism. Because we need those, damn it. So armored breakthrough, then those two. And then I'll go back to reinforcing our border with more forts and the like. Okay. And we just need to take Barcelona now. And the communist Spanish should be removed from the picture for goodsies. Wonderful. Japan's declared war on Hawaii. Can you tell from my tone just how much I don't care about Hawaii? I mean, it's Hawaii. Whenever I'm playing Kaiserreich, I often forget they exist as a nation. That's how much I don't care. Plus, I kind of decided earlier on in the last stream that I wanted to try and appease the Japanese and didn't start any shit with Korea or anything. So I'm not going to start something over Hawaii. That's for sure. By the way, how are you, Romania? Well, they're in the faction that we're currently fighting, but have deliberately decided not to join in or haven't been called to arms yet. Hopefully they stay not joined in, because I would really not appreciate having to fight Romania after Austria just removed them from the equation. Let's just call it. I mean, if I wanted to make Barcelona easier, I could have just outflanked and encircled them, but I'm already committed to this fight now, so I'm not gonna stop. Just try some fancy new maneuvers, I don't think. About to take some tiny irrelevant little province over in the Americas. Going pretty well for us over in Murica. And no outflanking going to take place now because they've gone and fortified their position there. But once that capital falls, this should actually put us in a pretty reasonable position because the communist Spanish, just checking how I am for reinforcements and everything at the moment, and fine, although I do still need like 4,000 more guns to reinforce all of my forces. Anyways, the communist Spanish just have 2 cities left, Saragossa and Barcelona. I'm hoping that once Barcelona falls to me, that the CNT-FAI, as they're formerly called, will capitulate, and giving control of all this over to the Kingdom of Spain, who can then just sort of roll on in and curb stomp the Carlists, because, let's face it, once it's just a one-on-one civil war, there is no way the Carlists are gonna stand up to literally the rest of fucking Spain. It just ain't happening. It just ain't happening. By the way, Bulgarian volunteer type people. Is there anywhere I can send you that would be remotely useful? Attack one of those random gatherings of divisions in Serbia, maybe. The Russian Empire declared war on the Donkoban Union. Fortunately, I am no longer guaranteeing their independence, as the approach I went with addressing that issue was a total economic embargo of Russia. Apparently, Russia has decided that since they're already embargoed, they've got nothing to lose by invading, and have gone ahead and declared war in the Caucasus. So, that embargo kind of backfired, and I kind of shot myself in the foot a bit with that one, unfortunately. Right. I can't really successfully mount an attack there, unfortunately, because I'll be crossing a major river. So, those Union volunteers will just kind of have to sit on their hands for the time being. The Spanish ones are where it's at. We are just pushing back the communists, the Spanish communists over here in Barcelona, because I just dashed a bunch of my cavalry up from just a little past Valencia to try and take Barcelona. They had one unit sitting in there, so I wasn't going to be able to take it. With the other thing I was trying to do, which was grab Saragossa at the same time. So I just sent all but one of my divisions up there to help out, and as you can see, it's going quite well, and Barcelona's fall is all but inevitable. And oh my god, this is going to be such a glorious moment. The city of Barcelona will be back in the hands of the proper Spanish, thanks to the help of the German Expeditionary Force. Oh yes. And it is done. The fall of Barcelona. Reports from Barcelona confirm that the anarcho-syndicalist city has been captured by advancing Spanish troops after staged fights across the Serra de Collserola mountain range. Anarcho-syndicalist forces put up stiff resistance, hoping to delay the Spanish forces for as long as possible, but were eventually beaten back. There were reports of long urban fights through the Gothic quarter of Barcelona, and sparse fighting along the Barcelonian Rivera. This same Rivera was the site of a long and luxurious parade by Spanish troops as they marched along the sunny beaches, a clear symbol that the Kingdom of Spain had taken control of the Catalonian coastline. So falls the heart of old Catalonia. Now, let's see if this means the end of the CNTFAI, or if I'll have to take their last city for that. It looks like we're going to have to push all the way through for this. So then, we're going to defend up there, and the West Indies Union was annexed by the Entente, which is what used to be the Caribbean Federation before they went communist. In any case, it looks like we will indeed have to take Saragossa if we want the communists to fall. space strike research is done. So, let's see here. Armor. I'm going to go ahead and research medium tanks, even though it's a little bit ahead of time. Because medium tanks are best tanks. And then there were two. So, I guess I don't get the message about the communists capitulating. I suppose that's fair. We weren't the major party involved or anything. But now, it's just the Kingdom of Spain and the Carlists. The communist part of Spain has finally been made to collapse. At long bloody last, they've fallen. Now we're going to see if we can't break across the river for the Union State, but I doubt it will happen. Elite African cavalry have arrived again. Motorized African divisions.
Ihre Befehle?
Two of those. Put them with that army. The Dutch Revolution. And yet another victory for the forces of the left, a traditionally moderate Netherlands, has gone the way of the British and French and fallen to socialism. The country has been in chaos since the burning down of the Binnenhof in The Hague by syndicalist Marinus von der Lubbe, which caused the government to declare a state of emergency. After a leftist mutiny on a small navy vessel and subsequent revolt in Groningen province in the north, revolutionary sentiment quickly spread and army units defected. And with the collapse of the Dutch political establishment, a new danger has emerged on the borders of the German Empire. A response is yet unknown. The fires of revolution claim another nation. Okay.
Befehle!
Okay. Fuck your revolution. We're invading. That is the German response. Fuck your revolution, we're invading.
Befehle?
Stop training for all our border divisions. And just plan for an attack immediately. Get on it, everyone. And you can begin taking up positions along the border. The Dutch East Indies want to settle their government here. One more monarchy has fallen into the stain of syndicalism. Their queen and her confidants escaped the chaos to establish a resistance from the colonies that remained loyal to her. She requests to enter in an alliance with us and establish a government in exile in our capital. Of course, and the Dutch East Indies will join the Reichspakt. Now, we have 13 days before we have to make a decision on this event, so I'm going to hold off a little bit and try and get our troops into position before you make the decision, because I'm pretty sure I know what one of the options will be. Dominionist victory in South Africa. After a contentious election, which has divided the Union of South Africa in two, the Dominion Party, led by General Jan Christen and led by General John Christian Smuts, has declared victory, though with the slimmest of majorities in the country's parliament. Voting in South Africa is restricted mainly to whites, lit between the Afrikaners in the north and the British in the south, and with the British vehemently supporting Smuts, they were able to achieve victory. Unrest in the Afrikaner areas is on the rise, however, particularly among those who fear Dominion plans for rapprochement with the Entente, and many are predicting the country will fall to violence or even civil war before long. Interesting. And yes, our forces...
Angetreten.
Our forces are in position now, though the game is telling me that this will not go well for us.
Befehle. Ihre Befehle. Achtung.
Would be nice to be able to get my organizations recovered some, so I will wait until literally 1 day is left before I pull the trigger on this, as I think. That's what I'm going to do. When there's 1 day left, we'll make our decision and actually read the event. Until then, we will wait. Though anyone who saw how I reacted to the Ukrainian Revolution should know how I'm going to respond to this one. It's not a difficult thing to figure out, honestly. It's really not. Okay.
Bereit zum
Two
Ausrücken.
here's pretty high in their organization now.
Achtung.
Those guys are as well, but there's less of them. That's the problem. And actually, I'm going to redeploy another army over here. Just to sort of tip the scales a little bit. If at all possible. Let's see.
Ihre Befehle.
And I need to delete their old orders first. So... go on. 6 days left. And you can build destroyers, naval program. I'm not going to bother to read that. I've read that particular event out like 5 or 6 times by now. If you don't know what it says by now, that's not my problem. Or you can go look it up on the wiki or something, I suppose.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Alright. When it's on 1 day to go, that's when I'm going to actually bother to read out this event, because then we'll have to actually do it. Okay, here we go. 1 day left. Second Prussian intervention. Syndicalists have taken over the Netherlands, exposing a vulnerable flank through which the Ruhr area, our primary industrial center, can be hit. Military hotheads are proposing that we invade right now while they still lack international recognition. But the Dutch, or Batavians as they call themselves now, are surely dug in, having expected this move already. Others propose that we send agents to undermine the new regime's stability, which could be a more subtle way of securing their loyalty. The third possibility is to just let them lie, and at the current, they seem unsupported by the Internationale, and even if they would join that alliance, what harm can the Netherlands do? Yeah, send in the soldiers. We declare war on the Batavian Commune, they get the Prussians intervene once more, and -2 base war support and base stability. I assume that's me that gets that, not the Dutch. Yep. So, invade. All of the invading. And we will call to arms Flanders, Wallonia, so that we can use our troops that we have in their territory to attack. Yeah, been nice knowing you. You Batavians, but you're not gonna last long. Surely they should have learned. Hold that thought. We got a bunch of Lend-Leases to accept. And the Austrians are sending us a few volunteers.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
As I was saying, surely these guys should have learned from the example of the Ukrainians what the Kaiser does to communist sympathizers on his borders. I'll give you a hint. It usually doesn't involve tea and crumpets. Or anything to that effect. It usually involves invasions. Shocking, I know. You would have thought that he'd just give them tea and crumpets, wouldn't you? But no. He invades their countries, overthrows the existing regime, and establishes puppet nation, and establishes a puppet government subservient to the Reich.
Achtung!
That's generally the way things go. Some dude has fallen ill. And now, we have the political power to do this, so... Let's see, who do I want to give this position to? Walter von Brauschitz. I'm going to give it the position to Erich Hoppener, because I can pronounce his name. He'll be my chief of the army for more division attack, motorized and mechanized speed, and armor speed and breakthrough. So I've been waiting for a while to do that. Now we just need to get another 150 for our chief of the navy, and to fill out all those slots. Though maybe I should have done partial mobilization instead. Although it says you have to be at war for it, so chances are it would just be gotten rid of once we were no longer at war. Is the likely thing. And the Batavian commune has fallen. So I'll be setting us up a puppet government there now. I'm not going to start using any of our new dockyards or military factories yet until we are able to decide the fate of the Dutch. Let's see, fate of the Netherlands. After a short campaign across the marshes and urban centers of the Netherlands, you have managed to take down the proud nation. The Netherlands are now in our hands. We must now decide its future. Liberate the Netherlands as a whole is one option, but it would essentially re-establish the Batavian commune. Liberate the Netherlands, but expand Flanders. Flanders Wallonia would get some of their stuff. Annex Limburg. Continue our military occupation. Restore the government in exile to power. Now, here's the thing, and this is the reason why I'm saving, which we'll see in a second. I don't know if restoring the government in exile to power will make them just an ally or a puppet, because I would like to have the Netherlands as our puppet state if possible. And I don't know if restoring the government, I don't know exactly how restoring the government in exile to power will pan out, which is why I saved the game, because if it's a not so favorable result, then I'm going to reload and redo it, but we will try this. Restore the government in exile to power. Oh, the Dutch East Indies takes it over. And they're part of our faction. Should have read that more closely, but frankly, I think, and they become the Netherlands again. I think I am quite happy with this, having the Netherlands part of the Reichspakt. That will be very handy. It covers our flank and means we don't have to worry about managing another puppet. Anyways, formation flying research is done, so we'll research dive bombing next for better air support mission efficiency. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that, honestly. Yeah, I think. But now, with that, just to show everyone the extent of our alliance, with the exception of Norway, which joined the filthy communists, the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Italian Republic, which are their own alliance. Romania, who is in the alliance of the guys we're fighting, but not currently fighting us. And Bulgaria, who may join if we manage to fully liberate them. With the exception of all of them, basically a good portion of Central and Eastern Europe, with our little foothold in Western Europe, is part of the Reichspakt, so we are in a good position. All things considered, we really are. And apparently our volunteer forces are being transferred back from the Union State, Bulgaria, and Spain because we started a war. Is that a thing that typically happens in Hearts of Iron 4, that volunteer forces are sent home when you end up in a war yourself? Because I really don't like that. I wish the volunteer forces would stay with the people they're volunteering with, even when I go to war, because if it's a small local conflict like that, or the one with the Ukraine, then I am going to want to continue utilizing my volunteer forces against them after I finish up there. So this really is kind of annoying. Now I'm gonna have to send all 3 of them back again. Not impressed by that. Not impressed at all. But with that, I think this makes for a good place to end this particular stream, and it was a rather action-packed episode, or session rather, to be honest. Considering we had the communist revolt in the Netherlands, that was a nice way to close things off. And of course, all of my proxy war stuff with the Bulgarian, Spanish, and the American Union states been quite a lot of fun. We're into June 1938 now, and fast closing in on 1939, which, unless things end up going wildly off track, 1939 is typically the year which ends up being when the Commune of France will issue their little ultimatum for deciding whether or not there will be a second Weltkrieg. So that'll be something to have our eyes on, to be sure. It will indeed. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, then please give the channel a follow, and check me out over on YouTube for my more narrative-heavy and immersive Let's Play type thing. And I'll see you again next time for my next live stream. I don't really have a schedule at the moment, I just sort of stream whenever I feel like it. It'll probably be more Kaiserreich, some Stellaris, or possibly Imperator Rome. I've really been enjoying Imperator lately. Say what you will about the release version, I really do love it in its current state. Anyways, see you next time.